And now you pass me like a stranger in the room.
What's up, besties? I'm here at the Hall Wine Studio. Welcome to this week's episode of Pillows and Beer. We've got a really special guest coming on a little later in the show, and I'm joined by Nick Norris in one of the Virginias. What's up, Nick?
What's going on, man? How are you doing?
Good. I'm excited to have Jordan on today.
Yes, Jordan McGraw. He should be fun. You guys just heard him.
Yeah, he's got, well, you'll hear more about Jordan in a little bit. Did you see the picture I just sent you?
Yes, I did. So my first question was, well, obviously it's very cool that you got a very big like storefront. It's very like Property Brothers-esque and like all of those Joanne. It's like all the HGTV people ask, but what's the bees for?
Bumblebees are in. And what we're talking about is one of our big new displays at a Fred Meyer store out west. We've got an entire spring collection launching in Fred Meyer stores and then moving on to Kroger. So that's very exciting. Gosh, there's so much to talk about, Nick. If only this was a conspiracy episode or a truth episode. No. But yeah, I learned to drive a forklift this weekend.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure most people saw on Instagram Live. Or at least I saw it on Jerry's Live. I don't know if it was on, or was it on yours? I can't remember.
Yeah, it was on mine. Jack was holding it for me. They were like, let's go live. And I was like, I'm not comfortable going live in general. And now we're going to do my first time driving a forklift, but it went okay. I mean, the thing is our generation grew up playing video games and, heavy machinery is kind of like a big arcade game, except the consequences are a lot heavier and you have to respect stuff like that. I mean, like it's so powerful. Like at one point I dropped the hydraulic lift a little too low and I saw all of the shelving start to bend and I was like, oh geez.
No, my dad and I were watching because, of course we're both in the construction and my dad was like, Jerry's being very patient with him. I'll give him that. Because we were laughing. You didn't do terrible. Like no, I was like,
it's my first time.
Yeah, no, was there a kid? Who's the kid on the top shelf?
Well, that's why I have footage of it that I'm going to send you. But I'm like, I don't think OSHA's going to be happy.
Well, I was laughing out loud. I was like, oh, I got to make a fake OSHA account. Get in the comment section here.
Yeah, he was standing on top of the shelves. I was like, I wonder what my penalty would be as the owner of this company. Probably
no, you're fine. We do that shit all the time. You should see the things that we could have gotten in trouble for. I had a ladder set up in the back of my pickup on like going 3 stories up. So
well, that's a bad one. And I was thinking, I was like, I would definitely use this as a lift, like put a piece of plywood over the forks and like have someone lift me up. But
100, people do that all the time.
Yeah, well, because instead of buying a whole new lift, but small business stuff, it's obviously not safe. Don't condone.
No, I'm not condoning it unless you're a professional. And there's plenty of professionals out there.
When I saw your college confessional question, I do follow them, but it pisses me off that I do because they're all fake now,
Fake though, because some of them are like, you always say, Nick, you make up half these questions. The one that was today about like driving around, like when you're feeling lonely and getting, from homeless women. I was like, no one's making that up at Eastern Michigan or Kentucky.
I think they have created like someone writes the most absurd thoughts that come to their head during the day. I think it started off well, and then like anything they started to try to compete, but yeah, we'll get more into that after Jordan.
Yeah, but like if you know what we're talking about, I don't highly recommend following it because like Craig says, it pisses me off sometimes. Some of them are funny, but some of them are just so outlandish that I would have to agree with you that people are just writing these things in and I just don't know.
Moderator.
Yeah, I would agree with you on some of them.
If you are listening, College Confessions, come on the pod.
Yeah, I 100% agree because I need to know how many of those are real and how many are not. Some of them I definitely believe are real, the more low key ones, but there are some very ridiculous ones out there. But I don't know. I figured you'd be all over that since you're all about the conspiracies, but I feel like
Yeah,
that's a good one.
look, some are you can tell when they're real and you can tell when they're not. I mean, but it'd be funny. I mean, they'll never admit the fake ones, but it would be funny if there was a way to take a quiz because I feel like I can see right through the creative.
I think so too, but I feel like some would shock you. But I just don't think that any of the ones that would shock you, people would actually DM someone because you're still DMing them from your account. So it's not like somebody knows who you are.
Or unless they have an anonymous like email set up, like some of the gossip sites out there now.
Well, that's just bullshit. If you're gonna write, gossip pisses me off because if you're gonna gossip, please do it proudly. Don't hide behind a fake name. I'm sure you get used to that.
Well, I mean, yeah, but as a lawyer, like you should be able to face your accuser, you know?
Yeah, I agree with that. I would always
at least like the problem is that, you know, you are asked for a comment sometimes, but the best thing to do is to not comment. But that's, I think, the most frustrating part for a lot of people is like, well, why can't I just say like that's not true, you know? And
if you're gonna like just cyberbully someone just relentlessly, at least do it. Don't hide behind your freaking a fake name.
well, no, because they're wussies. If you're cyberbullies are losers. Says more about them than it says about you. I wish we could know that. But the bullies are defended in today's day and age. So
you can't just sucker punch. It's not a sucker punch.
No, you should be able to punch them square in the nose. And guess what? They're never going to pick on someone again. But if you do that, you'll get suspended now, and the bully will be, you know,
told not to do that. That was their punishment.
Barely.
Yeah, exactly. Tisk, tisk, tisk. But yeah, no, I don't know. So did you have a good weekend apart from learning how to drive a forklift?
I was sick. I hadn't been sick in a while, but I got run down. And it's funny that when you do get run down, how easy it is for a bug to jump on you. So I had a pretty bad head cold for a couple of days. And if you can hear it, it's still kind of dealing with it. But I woke up, I fell asleep at like 9:30 one night and woke up to someone's phone call at like 10:30, and I was supposed to be somewhere at 11. And I just don't like, I'm a 7-hour sleeper. And so I was like, oh, my body's definitely recovering right now. And so Sunday I had a good day. I ate Panera in bed all day and didn't leave my house.
Well, sometimes those weekends are fun. Although, I mean, I'm guessing down there it's been nice for a little bit, but like this weekend was like the first weekend where I wore shorts in a very long time. And I was happy about that.
I'm ready for the warmer weather. What did you do this weekend?
One of my buddies came into town with his girlfriend, and we went to like a bunch of wineries and kind of went downtown Charlottesville to like a bunch of breweries and stuff like that. So
really fun.
Yeah, no, it was a good weekend. It's the first time I've had fun, and like because January and February just suck when you're up north because you can't really do much.
Right.
So
slow. And
yeah, exactly.
I didn't mind it because I didn't feel too sick. The problem is like
you just have energy.
Talked to someone from work and they were like, yeah, why? Like everyone can tell I'm tired. That's the thing. It's a big kick in the when you're being tired. All right, we're going to take a quick commercial break. Word from our sponsors, and we'll be right back with Jordan McGraw. This Texas-born singer and Los Angeles-based pop-punk maverick caught the attention of audiences across the U.S. supporting the Jonas Brothers Remember This tour. He performed fan favorites, including Her and She, and previewed the edgier new sound of his forthcoming EP with his newest single, McConaughey, which you just heard there. What's up, Jordan McGraw?
What's up, man? How are you?
Good. Thanks for joining us, man. I'm not gonna lie, I've been listening to the music all day. I didn't like put 2 and 2 together when you were coming on because I've actually like some of your songs are on my playlist because I'm a big big emo music kid from back in the day.
Nice.
I know you draw a lot from like Blink-182.
Are we all in some way?
I mean, and if you're not, then I don't know if we get along, or you're
yeah.
lying.
If you weren't sad when you were a teenager, you can fuck off.
Yeah.
We went through that, man.
Yeah. So how are things? You said you're out in LA right now?
I am. Yeah, I'm home, just finishing up an album and chasing kids around the house.
Yeah, congrats on the two. My my girlfriend is a big fan of your wife Morgan, so she was really excited that you were coming on.
Awesome.
She joined us actually. I think Paige actually sat in for Morgan on her show when she was on
Oh
paternity
yeah.
leave, just for like an episode or two. So
Awesome.
small world there. But yeah, how was it being on tour or on stage with the Jonas Brothers? I mean, what was that moment like?
They're like they're my best friends. So we were friends before the tour, and so it was just like, you're like, they're totally normal dudes. So you're used to like hanging out, drinking tequila and playing golf, and then you kind of forget that stadiums of people show up. And they're like, "You want to open for me?" I'm like, "Yeah, of course I do." And then you get out to the stage at like Fenway Park, and you're like, "Oh shit, yeah, no, this is yeah, cool. All right, you downplayed this a little bit, and then their fans are the coolest fans, and it's just a blast. And then you get off stage and go back to drinking tequila and playing golf.
Are there still nerves when you walk out, even though you've been playing for a while?
I get more nervous in a room full of like five people than I do in a room full of 50,000. It's because at least I have a purpose. You like put me on stage, give me a guitar, I'll figure it out. You put me in a room in a cocktail party and tell me to go like make a friend, and I'm like, so weather, huh?
Yeah, no, I mean that makes perfect sense. I still get butterflies anytime I have to do like live TV or whatever. But as soon as the light goes green, you kind of black out.
Yeah.
But I we had a show in, I think, Boston, just doing this podcast, and I threw up in the bathroom before, and I was like, Jesus, I don't know how like art, and it was like 1,000-person show. It was nothing compared to what you guys are doing.
It's
But
fun. I mean, it really is different though. It's like, I have to talk like, maybe 10 seconds at a time. And I do my best to offend every mother in the room. But other than that, like everything else is like super rehearsed, and we play the songs, have fun with each other, and get gone. So
that's
there's not a lot to be nervous about.
Yeah, the one of I think Joe was in Charleston for something, and I met him at an event. But super nice guy, like you said, just normal people who happen to
Yeah.
have millions of people that follow them around. But hey, you're on the same track. I mean, you had, what was it? We Should Still Be Friends, which that's one of my favorites. Go to five
Thanks,
million
man.
views on YouTube. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, that like snuck up too. I try not to like check too often. If you're putting music out on Spotify, they give you like a different app that's Spotify for artists, and you can track your daily plays. And that's bad enough because there's no comments on that. So I let myself read that. But like YouTube, I can't go down that hole.
No, yeah, that's a if you have the discipline not to. I mean, that's the key. Did you get
Yeah.
one of those plaques for hitting those numbers, or when do you get one of those plaques?
I don't know, but I don't have one. If I do one, they better not send it to the wrong address
Yeah,
because
Nick, don't you get like you get a plaque at
So I think it's either subscribers or views, but I thought if you hit like 1 million views, you're supposed to get something from them.
yeah, you might
I
want to
think,
I feel like 1 million's like a hoodie. Like you get like
but
a
1
two
million's
X
a
a two
lot.
XL hoodie.
But I
yeah.
mean, but 1 million's a lot. But 5 million, you're starting to hit that upper echelon. Granted, some people get like 100 million views, but
Yeah, right.
5 million, you're in that 1 percentile. You're just not in the 1 percentile of the 1 percentile.
Yeah, exactly. I want that one of one. You know what I mean?
Well, your music videos are fun. They kind of remind me of back in the golden era of MTV, and some of those like American Hi-Fi, those like music
Oh
videos.
yeah.
Like, I mean, you had the whole Vanna White thing with your wife with like Wheel of Fortune. Your dad and John Mayer made a cameo in one of them. Do you enjoy making the music videos, or where does that inspiration come from?
Yeah, I grew up a huge Blink fan, a huge Foo Fighters fan, like all of those guys. And so to me, like a music video is if you don't have fun making a music video, you're like wasting a totally awesome opportunity. Like serious or sad or happy, whatever the song is, like you have a chance to make something like really fun to watch. And I just refuse to sit under like some moody light and and just like pretend I take myself way too serious. So I dress
You
up as
refuse to
many
be real
characters as
emo.
I can.
You're like, I like
Yeah.
talking about music, but I'm not actually. I'm gonna break out of this.
Yeah, it's well, we'll call it ironic. I'm not really happy. I'm just like rubbing it into the people that are.
No, I think that's a great way to do it. But it's got to be fun. I mean, you're basically making. I mean, how much creative control do you have? Is it all you that's like writing and designing that? Because it's pretty like creative stuff.
Yeah, I mean, I have like the ultimate say, but I'm a huge believer in like surrounding yourself with people that are better at what you want to do than you could possibly be. So, I'll like come up with like the sketch of the idea, and then like the Wheel of Fortune one, it was just like, wouldn't it be crazy if we got the Wheel of Fortune set? And then somebody heard that and went and asked the right people. And I'll tell you what's crazy about that though is like the list of rules that they give you when you're on their set, because the legacy that they have to protect, like they had to know every scene that we were going to do and approve every word that was on the board and all of that. So,
What about the
which I
song?
respect.
Yeah. Well, I didn't realize that it was this real Wheel of Fortune set.
Oh yeah. We were like, if we get the set, we'll do the idea. If not, we're coming up with something else. So yeah, it was the real thing. The wheel is nuts.
Yeah. Were they okay with the song that you made the video to?
Oh yeah, I think like 10 people had to approve it.
That's wild. I mean, it's
Yeah.
just a fun thing. And so I know you started playing as a teenager, right? Like playing the guitar.
Yeah.
And
Yeah,
then
that was the most emo phase. I had no friends, so I bought a guitar. It wasn't in as emo of a way. Like I had just moved from Dallas to LA. I was 15. It was middle of summer. So I like couldn't quite drive yet, legally. And yeah, I like didn't have a reason to meet anybody yet. So I was just like kind of sitting around, and I went and bought a Tom DeLonge Strat
will
and
that be
locked myself in my room.
yeah, moving from I mean, I never had to move as a kid or like a teenager, it was my choice for like college, but I always thought that that would be difficult and I feel like moving to LA would be not the easiest place.
Dude, it was the coolest thing in the world for me though. Like I was moving from Dallas, which is like I love Dallas, Cowboys fan forever, but it's a little slow. And so like 15, like just getting learning how to drive and just like getting a little bit of freedom to move to like the coolest city in the world was it was awesome.
And you were like, I'm gonna buy a guitar and stay in my
Yeah.
room.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Don't come in here, mom.
When did you start writing? Did that come naturally to you?
Yeah, kind of. I just learned like every Nirvana and Blink song and Green Day song that I could because they were all the easiest to play. And then yeah, I got a guitar teacher at one point, and he realized pretty quickly that I didn't want to do what he told me to do. So he kind of helped me write. He taught me by helping me write songs. So they were really shitty songs, but I started as soon as I could like put a few chords together.
No, I mean that's incredible. I mean, I'm sure that guy has a special place in you know, your
Oh
story
yeah,
as
he's had the same '80s mullet since
no
since
way.
the '80s. Oh yeah, it's still like the crown of his head just like kind of poofs up, and it just like
What do you call him?
his name's Carmen. I just call him Carmen.
Well,
I don't
Carmen,
even
I mean,
talk to him
that's
anymore.
not a
I don't
spelling
even know where
either.
he is now. I don't know. I would love to say that we're like best of friends and sentimental, but he came and heard one of my bands. One, he's like a blues guy, and he was in Tower of Power, which is like the blues like gods for a while there. And he came to one of my rehearsals one time, and he was just like, cool. All right, well, I'm gonna go." I was like, "Okay, yeah,
It's like I see that you're still not
yeah,
really listening to me, but I'm glad you're doing
yeah, exactly,
your thing. Do
yeah,
they do your songs? I know Bad Days is Nick's new favorite. And much
nice."
better and much better is a great one too. The Santa Claus one, I just love Christmas. So the Santa Claus one is my jam too. But
Same.
are they all from personal experiences or what do you draw from when you are, writing these songs?
Man, it's like yes, because I do it, but no, because at the end of the day, I also just want to write like something cool and fun. So I think it's probably about 50-50. Like, Bad Days is about a hangover. Very familiar with that. So that's pretty personal. I did buy a skateboard. I have a stack of skateboards back here, and I can barely go forward. So some of it's pretty personal, and then some of it's just seemed like a good idea in the shower, so I cranked it out.
Yeah, I feel
Not
like
crank. I didn't crank it. Maybe portrait.
I was gonna
I
save you
did.
on that one.
Yeah, I was cranking it out in the shower, and
That's
palm
where
trees popped into my
inspiration.
head.
He's like,
Yeah.
that you don't pick your porn. We say that all the time. You don't pick your porn. You just kind of click on whatever gets you going, and
It finds you.
yeah, it does. And I
Yeah.
guess that's palm trees for you. Uh, and have you written about your wife at all, Morgan, and the kind of unique way that your relationship has gone?
Kind of. I wrote she about an actual experience that was she woke up with me and she was super mad at me for something I did in a dream, and
Oh,
stayed
dude,
mad at me.
my girlfriend is bad about that. Like it'll
Oh yeah.
a couple hours and she's like, and I know something's off, and she'll finally tell me, and she's like, "You were really bad last night." And I was like, I hate that guy.
Yeah.
He sounds like a
Yeah.
douche.
Dream me as a dick.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and he's all like, some of the things she tells me, I'm like, where the fuck do you even come up with that? Like he's
Yeah. Exactly. That was we were like stuck in a house in quarantine, so I wrote a song about that. But as far as like a love song, like it's one of those things where like it seems like such a bigger task than it probably is. But I've like kind of been afraid to do it full on. So, like she's definitely an inspiration in some of the moments in some of the songs, but I haven't done the sappy love song yet.
well, you put a lot of pressure on yourself probably too, because you want it to be good enough, and that will probably
Yeah.
never be the case if you solely dedicate it to it. And
Yeah,
it'll
exactly.
be good enough for everyone else will think so, but
Yeah, and there's some I write by myself and some I write with a friend of mine, but I feel like that one has to be by myself because if another dude is like throwing suggestions in about my wife, I'd be like, "What do you mean, beautiful?
yeah. What did you just
She
say?
she is she is yeah, but why do you want to put it in there?
Chill, Johnny. Yeah, go
Yeah,
take a lap. I'm gonna write this by myself.
yeah.
With you guys, I mean, did you I know a little bit about the story. I know you guys dated formally in life and then got back together around quarantine. Was that something the second time around that you kind of both knew, or did it take some time, or did COVID kind of speed stuff up?
Yes to all of those. I think COVID definitely helped, but um, we had like kind of started talking back and forth uh, while I was on tour in Europe, and so we couldn't see each other. So I think that kind of like built up a little bit of like good tension. And then when I got back, um, we just like I was living in a hotel because I'd sold my house before tour, and so I was just like, come crash here. There's room service. And so we, did
That's
what
awesome.
adults do. And then quarantine happened and I had to rent a house. And I was like, do you want to come with me? Like, we didn't know if the world was like actually shutting down or like imploding yet or like what it was. And I was like, do you want to just come with me and like, let's just see what happens? And she said, yeah. And we drank too much wine and smoked too much weed and hung out. And then when the world opened back up, we were like engaged. We were like, wait, what? What happened?
No, that's also, I mean, COVID did with COVID. I think COVID either brought, when the world opened up again, like I found myself in a situation, God bless everyone involved, but I feel like COVID kind of brought me into like with someone that I probably wouldn't have found in regular life. So when the world opened up, we were like, what the hell are we doing? And like kind of went
Yeah.
back our separate ways. And it kind of did that. COVID either brought like, but see, COVID didn't, this isn't about me, but I'm saying like COVID
No,
didn't,
I'm all
some
about
people
it.
like when they were like forced together and, people that had been married or whatever started to like hate each other. for a lot of people
Yeah.
I know, it was like, no, it's fun to have a roommate right now and everyone's partying together and like having fun. But then when the world opened up, I was like, okay, it's time to go back to like regular life.
Yeah.
But
No, it was cool. We just kind of so we were like both kind of in the same mindset when we started talking. Like we were both like, is this real? Are we like, is this what I think it is? And so like being able to just like be stuck together, it was like she always says, she's like, I called my mom at one point and I was like, he cooks and can take the trash out. So like he's a real person. And I like kind of had similar feelings. I was like, okay, like we're like making this whole thing work without the distraction of like you're leaving the house for a few hours. I'm gonna sweep a bunch of shit under the rug. We like basically played house for a few months.
yeah, if you were going to find, God, I hate how much the girls use this word now, but if you were going to find an ick with each other and you didn't when
Yeah,
you're living together during, the beginning of a relationship, then you're on the right course. And then you start to wonder yourself, you're like, yeah, but is this real or is it not? And
yeah. Well, I rented a house in Malibu, and like coincidentally, Nick Jonas was renting one like 10 minutes away. I know I dropped a name, but
well, I think if you
it's
toured with him, it's okay.
it's
He's a
just a
buddy.
yeah,
He's a
it's
real
just the
friend,
truth.
real
And
friend.
he had like four people staying with him in his little bubble, and then as soon as our bubble kind of closed up, we combined bubbles, and so we were able to like hang out with a few people. And I got the like, hey, she's cool as I think she is. You know what I mean? And so I got
And
the
do you
friend
like this
seal of
one, or is she
approval
like
like midway
secretly
through.
like, are we stuck with her or are we happy that she's here?
Yeah, yeah, exactly.
Well, that's great. And then, yeah, I mean, well, COVID was overdone, not overdone. I'm saying we weren't here to talk about COVID, but it did have a big effect on all of our lives. I was going to say you're out on LA had the West Coast was a lot different than I found myself in the Southeast, which we all like bought golf carts and ended up like riding around.
Yeah.
It was just like everyone had their own like little, you know, experience. And then, so when did the first child come from? Is that, I mean, that was
It came from being locked in a house. You know what I mean? No, yeah, it was like a conscious decision, and we knew that we were like, we're probably not going to be able to have like a wedding right when this is over or whatever. And so we were like, yeah, but it shouldn't like change our path and our plan. So that happened while we were there, and then it like kind of made for the best timing possible, because we had our daughter like kind of right when the world started opening back up, and it just like made it kind of, we had like a reason to stay in while she was super pregnant. So
yeah, that's all. I mean, it's an incredible story. And yeah, I think you got the timing down pretty well. Like you said, you all got to be together through all that
yeah.
special time. I'm sure going to the doctors and the hospitals were a little, different than usual. Were you even
Oh yeah, I
allowed?
had to wait in the car. No, I had to wait in the car, and like so all the sonograms were on FaceTime.
That's wild. But it sounds
Yeah.
like you guys embraced it.
Yeah, like what are you gonna do? Argue with the medical professional?
Get thrown in jail. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, exactly.
There's
I just
really
wanted
no,
to see the sonogram.
yeah. And they're like, cool. Well, you're not allowed. And now the police are coming. So,
Yeah, exactly.
and then so then you have, was your son your second born or your firstborn?
Second, yeah. Ro was first, our daughter, and then our son was born a
Oh,
year and a day after.
that name has there's a reason why I reacted that way. I don't know if it's a secret or what I'm supposed to say in this moment, but I can't wait to tell Paige what your daughter's name is.
Awesome. I
Yeah.
won't. I won't pry. I'm not
Yeah.
gonna pry.
Well, I mean, I think, yeah, she's gonna be like, Craig, shut up. But anyway, he's got some secret names, but I can say that she's always loved that name. So anyway, sorry.
It suits ours. It's like it made a pretty strong, stubborn girl in the best way.
Good, good. And
Yeah.
then how old's your son?
He just turned one. They're a year and a day apart. 366 days apart.
Was that Irish twins?
Yeah, that's as close as you could possibly get, I feel like.
My best two of my best friends, they're brothers and they're actually Irish, and they are, I think, the same amount of days. One is One's June 5th and one's like June 6th or something crazy.
Yeah, it's awesome. They're super close. We knocked 2 birthdays out at once.
Yeah. Do you do
Yeah.
separate parties or one party?
We just had the party. We did I call it McGraw Palooza. And we did like they both had like an area in the party, but it was one big party.
Oh, that's awesome. Well, let's talk about a little bit about your new album. I mean, are you like what's the feeling like? What's the excitement? How long you've been working on it? Can you tell everyone kind of a little bit of history on it?
Yeah, I've been working on it pretty much since like right after the last tour, but as like kind of cheesy and cliche as it sounds, I got sick of being like pushed in different directions of like what I should sound like and what I should do. And you got to co-write with as many people as possible and all of that. And at some point I was just like, I haven't really figured out like me yet. So I don't want to be in the room with a bunch of people that think they have a better idea. And so I kind of just locked myself in my studio and started writing, and it came out, um, like pop punk and a little bit early 2000s and late 90s. And I just kind of like leaned into that. And I wrote a few by myself. I produced a few myself. And then the rest, I wrote with a good friend, Mike Green, who's done, All Time Low and Paramore and Sum 41 and stuff like that. So he was like kind of the perfect guy. And, um, we just like really, really unapologetically leaned into that vibe. And it's like the first time that I have a body of music that I'm like, just, I don't care what people think. I'm just pumped to put it out.
Yeah, well, and I mean, what you'll find is that incredible feeling when people end up loving it, and you're like, almost like,
Yeah.
I fucking knew what I was doing, and also, like,
Yeah, exactly.
it's fun, and I can't wait to maybe I'll get to come to one of your shows or whatever, just to see how happy, like you guys get to be, performing. Are you a fan of? When you first started, did you have? Isn't there kind of a new era in music coming out with the way it's like the business side of it, especially with like Spotify and all of that? Isn't it a little different?
Yeah. Yeah. It's like, it's definitely weird navigating it. Yeah, because it changes every time you figure it out. Like TikTok, it's like, I don't know what's like, come on. Like I can make dumb videos, but like, I don't know what to do. You know what I mean? Like you see like some kid like sitting in his room playing his guitar and singing, and it's like, holy shit, good. And I'm like, I'm not gonna do that. I tried it once while I was super drunk. I think it's still on my TikTok. I played a Boxcar Racer song, and I was just like, what? Why did I do that? You know what I mean? Like I don't have that.
You're
I
like,
can
is this
make
what I'm
dumb.
supposed to be doing?
Yeah, I feel so like awkward. Like I can't smolder at a camera and talk. Like I can only do one at a time. We're either smoldering or we're having a conversation.
You're like,
But we
put
both
me in
got to
the
do it at the
shower.
same time.
Yeah, I'm a shower performer.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I'm like I don't remember the last time I shaved, and meanwhile, this like kid with the babyest skin is like singing about heartbreak that I'm pretty sure he's never had, but I still believe him. And it's like, okay, cool. So you want me to make 10 videos this week? Nah, I'm gonna make another song.
Well, I mean, and that's impressive. I started sewing pillows a couple of years ago and do this weird like home decor thing. Love to cook, sew, garden, and we have one of my like teammate or employees. He's our social media guy, and he has me do these like goofy ass things, and I wouldn't be able to do it on his own. And I'm like, look, just tell me what to do.
Yeah.
Catch me at the right time. Cause sometimes I'm like, get away from me. There's people here. I don't want to like dance for my candles. But
Yeah.
sometimes like you see what he puts out and you're like, all right, like that was kind of cool. But when it comes to like, I don't think I've posted in like 6 months on TikTok because I need to do it, but without like a younger person kind of giving me like patting me on the back.
Yeah.
I'm nervous.
What's funny too is like for me, I'm good at telling other people what to do. I'm good at the like, trust me, bro. But then when it comes to my stuff, I'm like clueless. So like, it's just I watch plenty, so I know like what's cool.
Dude,
I
the
just can't.
rabbit
I
hole is
can't do it.
real. It's real. Like
Oh
I got sick of being made fun of by my girlfriend for seeing things, 2 weeks later on Instagram Reels.
Yeah.
And I mean, if there is I don't know what the reason is, but I mean, you can black out and like 3 hours later be like, why the fuck am I still on TikTok? And you
It
convince
happened to me
yourself
today.
you're learning something.
I'm making dinner tonight from a recipe I saw, and I'm like still not sure I know all the pieces, but um, I will find out. But like I have a song coming out on Friday. This is a look at that transition. You see that?
There
That's
you go.
professional right there. That's pro.
Go
So I
on.
have a song coming out on Friday, and they were
Call.
like, yeah, if you have 10 videos up by the time your song comes out, it like helps something that I didn't understand. And I'm like, okay, wait, you're just telling me this like now? I got 7 days to make 10 videos. I'm like, do they have to be good? They're like, yeah. Okay. Uh shit. So now I'm like scrambling, like how do I made
Where
like five today that I just trashed.
You're like, I'm trying to make this recipe that I learned from someone over in India
Yeah,
that
exactly.
like I follow this like Indian chef who's like makes these beautiful videos, and I've convinced myself that I'm either going to cook out in the woods with one of those like forest chefs or uh, cook like
With the pit, you dig the pit and put the
yeah.
rebar over the top. I want to do that. The indirect heat.
Well, what
Have you seen
song?
the guy that's like he's like good morning, and he like pops a bottle of champagne and he makes candles out of butter and they melt over the plate. It's like I'll
No,
send it to
I've
you.
seen
It's
the two brothers that build pools, out of like
oh
nothing.
yeah.
Like I don't know, but the one guy that's chef that cooks with his dog, you never see his face, but he makes these like awesome meals by the river. I always convince
I know what
myself.
you're talking about. I like that guy.
Yeah, I'm like, I'm gonna go camping and
See how
make.
excited I just got?
Yeah,
This is what it does to you.
it really does. And I mean, it's funny where your algorithm ends up because sometimes it turns dark and you're like, all right, how did I
Yeah.
get here? I was pretty careful not to click like on those things. I mean,
I had a social media team like log into my TikTok one time, and I like 10 minutes later the girl was just like, what the fuck? I was like, sorry. It's a
I
weird
like,
combination that
yeah, I try
I,
not to like too many things because I'm like,
it still knows. It still knows.
yeah, it does because you probably because of how long you stay on it.
Yeah. And then if
And
you go to their page, it's yeah.
oh my God, they watch every move. No wonder it ends up there. I mean, it
Yeah.
probably tells a lot about a person. You're like, hey, let me see your TikTok. Let me see your
Yeah.
TikTok.
Exactly. Mine pretty much sums me up. It's like I can't even say what some of it some of
Yeah,
the most
we'll
telling ones
take
are.
it offline, and I'll be
Yeah.
like, I mean, it's all crazy shit. But
Yeah.
well, Nick would kill me if I didn't ask, but would you, and it should be, it's not that bad. I don't know why I preface things like that. If you had to tell a story with you and your friends in the bubble, or like the Jonas Brothers, or the craziest story like on tour that you can tell, what's one that pops into mind?
Oh man. Um Hanging out with David Hasselhoff in Germany was pretty interesting. He had a yeah. I
That's a
don't
good one.
I don't yeah.
Like
There's
that's what
some
it's
details
about,
that
but I
I
can't
feel
really
like I don't
tell
want to
it.
like yeah. But yeah, it was a lot of tequila. There was a lot of tequila, and I don't think that people realize that they're as fun as they are. And so there were definitely some interesting,
Did he sing?
kinda. I think so. At some point you're just like I found myself just like following him around backstage, and I was just Joe got to ride in the Knight Rider car. He has it.
No way.
Yeah, he just like drives around Berlin in the Knight Rider car.
I mean, yeah. I mean, why wouldn't you? At some point, you have to find yourself like, especially when you get to that level, you're like, what can I do next? And you're like, you know what? Always wanted to ride around in that car. I'm just going to do it.
Yeah,
And like,
exactly.
also, like the guy from Baywatch is just here, and the guy from Knight Rider, and I'm going to go
Yeah,
follow around.
yeah, exactly. Other than that, like I feel like things I'm allowed to tell. There's not like super scandalous things. I think people think the tour is just like this weird giant orgy that happens all the time backstage or something, but it's really just a lot of like grown dudes either drinking tea or tequila and like playing Fortnite in the dressing room.
Well, and that high, I mean, don't you love that high when you come off the stage though, and you're just with some of your best friends and you're just like,
That's the best. It's the best.
I
I
know.
think what people don't realize too is like we're all watching each other on the sides of the stage. You just can't see. But like everybody, when you go to a concert, you're like, I wonder if they're watching. Everybody's always watching everybody. You just can't see them. So if there's a lot of like throwing, if you ever see something like randomly be thrown on the stage while I'm performing, it's probably Joe.
Just rooting you on, trying to, messing with you.
Oh yeah, turning things off, bringing, uh, putting tequila in your water bottle, things like that.
No, that's amazing, man. Well, congratulations on everything. Tell everyone where they can hear the new album. I don't have the name of the album. I have all the songs I've been listening to, but I don't have the
I
name.
haven't told anybody the name of the album,
Oh,
so I'll tell you. So the song comes out on Friday. It's called Sunday Morning Coming Down. It's another one about a hangover, but I write about what I know. And then the album comes out on March 31st. It's called Bort, Bort. It's like a deep. If you're a big Simpsons fan, you'll get it. If not, it's just a funny word. But it's that comes out on March 31st with "Can You Hear Me" is the single.
awesome. Well, that's another. Did you get to name it something that you wanted to name, regardless of what people were
Oh
telling you?
yeah, no, yeah, there was no telling me no on that.
That's awesome, man. Well, congratulations, Jordan. Thanks for being a friend of ours. I don't know. You've never seen our stupid show, have you? Oh,
Yeah, of course.
oh, you have? Oh, well, you keep
Yeah,
talking about hangovers, and I was like, well, I've been on a show based on drinking for the last 9 years of my life.
yeah,
Um,
yeah.
and
That's
they
why
captured. Sorry,
that's
go
why I
ahead.
was like, yeah, I can bring. Yeah, it's fine.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I was we're having like I'm doing a I get to be in my first like movie and it's like a small role, but I just found out that it's a shirt off role. Actually, I haven't told anyone that either. And we're filming in Connecticut in 21 days. So I was like, being disciplined and also trying not to get too fucked up on camera anymore. And
Yeah.
I mean, that just means the last 3 days I hadn't drank. And then I was like, I'm not going to do a
Yeah.
podcast with Jordan and not,
That's
not
that's
drinking.
what I do. I always like when I'm trying to behave, I'm like, man, I've been sober for so long. My wife will be like, it's been a day. You just didn't have a drink last night. I'm like,
That's,
oh,
yeah, that's
that you
babe.
know about.
We should all hang, whether we're
Hell
out.
yeah.
I think we'll be in LA actually for a little bit, coming up soon. Have you ever been to Charleston?
I have actually, yeah.
Did you
I've
go
I've, I've played there.
in the
I don't
music
know what
farm or the
I don't
port
know. I don't
house?
I'm so bad at the names. I don't know, but I do like it.
Yeah, you guys should come back if you're ever on the East Coast because it's a golf cart city now, which is kind of crazy. So
Yeah.
everyone has golf carts, and you just
Hell
ride
yeah.
up and go bar hopping and eat
I
oyster.
love that.
Well,
I'm
cool,
in.
man. Well, thanks for coming. Everyone, check out Bort. Where's the best place for you for people to listen to Bort?
You can do it on Spotify, Apple Music, whatever. Wherever you find your music, go get it. Steal it. I don't care. Just listen to it.
Yeah, just listen to it, learn the words, come watch it on concert.
Yeah,
Will you get
exactly.
to go on tour for it, or is that not like a thing?
Yeah, my favorite part of all of this is playing live. So there's no way I'm not going to play these songs live. They're fun songs too. So
All right. Well, we'll take it out and then we'll just say bye right after this, if that's cool.
cool. Yeah.
Great. All right, everyone. As you heard on our podcast today from our guests, we are all very familiar with being hungover. Well, I have a fix for that. Check out Element. That's what I was talking about last week of taking to Mexico. It's spelled LMNT, pronounced Element, but it is an incredible recovery drink. If you've ever woken up hungover like us, so much that Jordan wrote a song about it, or just been flat out exhausted from working out or an activity, a high intense activity, I'll tell you that. You really need to check out Element. So basically, the sodium in it acts as a conduit for the electrolytes in water, and it makes you feel better. It's basically a supercharged sports drink. Let's just say that. But it tastes so much better. I love it. Even, on my low sodium diet, it still fits right in there. It makes me feel better in the morning, especially with my fitness journey right now. I get super hungover because I'm not drinking that much anymore. And my diet is almost like keto-esque. So recovery is tough. And without Element, I would have never been able to make it 5 days in Mexico. And honestly, the mornings after our podcast, it's the first thing I drink. But they came up with a fantastic offer for us. Just go to drinklmnt.com/pillows and beer. Our listeners can receive a free Element sample pack with any order when they order through our custom partner URL. The sample pack includes 1 packet of every flavor. It's a perfect offer for people that don't know what I'm talking about or kind of want to give it a try. This is what my friends do. Especially as some of them I even gave a couple packets when they were in Mexico with me. And now this is what they're starting with. So it's a great introduction packet. So anyway, don't travel without it. Don't wake up without it. Go to drinklmnt.com/pillows and beer. Welcome back, everyone. And a huge thanks to Jordan McGraw. That is him. His song, We Should Still Be Friends, which is, I think earlier I said is my favorite. That's just the genre that I like. And
yeah, no, he's fun. He was good. I liked him.
Cool.
I've heard a couple of his songs before, and then he wanted to come on. I was like, hell yeah, that was awesome.
And I didn't know if he watched Southern Charm or not, but he did, and we all shared a wine's cheers. And it's funny because I didn't know whether to have a glass. Well, anyway, if there was ever a time to have a glass of wine or to not break the habit, it was tonight. Yeah. So it was great. And fun fact, if the name sounded familiar, or his voice, or if you looked him up, and obviously from his music, but his dad's actually Dr. Phil, which is pretty incredible, which my parents got a fascinating feat or fascinating trait. Why are my words gone, Nick? I'm just saying that it's an interesting not stat. What the fuck am I thinking of?
I don't know, tidbit.
Yeah, an interesting tidbit. It is Jordan is Dr. Phil, the man himself's son, but Jordan has made quite a name for himself, and that's why anyway, just
he's friends with the Jonas Brothers. That's pretty cool. They get a tour with them. I mean,
well, it's cool that they were friends and they're going to open for us. Like,
hell
to be
yeah,
like talented enough and to be in the same business as your friends is great. It's kind of like what I did with Corey, where I was like, hey, I actually know a guy that would be great for Winter House, and then brought him on to Summer House and was like, and now I get to work with one of my best friends, and these guys get to work with their best friends, which is awesome.
But that's got to be pretty crazy opening for like small bands like that you grew up. Not necessarily small bands, but then you're going and you're in front of a bunch of Disney fans. I mean, that's like they opened up in stadiums.
Oh, I always forget about the Disney.
What was that show called? Was it was it the Jonas Brothers or whatever it was? Catching up with the Jonas. I don't know. No, that's
I actually watch a lot of Disney. And I don't know if that's creepy or not, but
no, I mean, so you still do, or you used to?
No, well, so I have a very vivid memory of when I would visit my parents' house, visit home, which is, my safe place. And I would watch TV to go to sleep there. And I remember my TV wasn't on the wall yet. So this probably, I actually remember, sorry, I've really fallen off since the interview. I remember finding out we got Osama bin Laden. So right around those years.
That's a little bit, not to age you, Greg. That's a little long. That's a long time ago.
Okay. Well, I would go to sleep watching the show that used to play around like 11 o'clock, which was the girl played a twin sister, but it was actually just one girl. But it was like a show about two twin girls.
If sisters were here, they'd be able to tell you in 2 seconds.
There's ever a time to like cut a segment where like Craig's just rambling. You're like, what are you talking about? And usually it's Austen rambling. So this is
so what's it like?
Honorary
Hannah
Austen
Montana.
rambling.
Oh my God, there's so many throwback shows that I used to watch.
The one's very athletic and the one's an actress.
The one's very athletic. I mean, there is. Hold on, twins
are yelling at their radio right now.
Yeah.
Yeah. Here it is. Liv and Maddie.
Liv and Maddie. Hold on, I gotta look this up.
Yeah, Liv and Maddie, and they had like that one and the one where she's a nanny of like, you know, a really rich family, but the kid died from that show, which is really sad. That's the one that's on all the time now.
Oh yeah. He was in like that Grown Ups movie, right? With like Sandler.
Yeah.
Yeah, he had like.
Anyway, sometimes I put on the Disney Channel because it's soothing at night.
He had, oh yeah, I mean, I got Disney Plus. I love going back and
Laugh
rewatching.
tracks bother me.
Yeah, I was watching a sitcom day that I used to watch all the time in high school and like my college years, and then I kind of like stopped because it's like a laugh track, like every other joke. I'm like, come on,
it's
like,
overused. It's overused.
It's overused. Like I get it occasionally, but an overused laugh track bothers me. That's definitely, I guess, as you would call an ick for TV shows for me right now.
Fuck, I hate that. It's such a severe where I'm closing out my tabs right now, like Disney show with 2 twin girls. That's great. Next to the Jonas Brothers, and like,
it's gonna end up on a neighborhood watch list here soon.
Yeah, whoever watches my computer is like, what on earth is he doing? Yeah, ick is such a serious thing. I actually told Paige this the other day. I was like, you guys are desensitizing the word. The ick is a real thing where you're with someone and out of nowhere, and you can't plan it and you can't control it. You just don't like them anymore. And everything that they do bothers you. And there's no way to get over it. So now they use it in a way that says like,
that bothers. It's like a pet peeve is an ick now.
Yes, they're starting to say pet peeves are icks, where in reality, if you get the ick about someone, that's it. Finito, it's done.
Yeah, there's things I don't like, but there's things that I can't just it's over with. Like there's things, whether it's in the bedroom or just in public, wherever we're doing things, there's things that bother me, and then there's things that.
And I guess there's non-negotiable. See, to me, if you got the ick with someone, it just meant that you were disgusted by them. Like they could be a wonderful, amazing person and not do anything wrong, but you're like, I fucking hate this person.
So you're saying like an ick is more of just like to the individual, not like something you already have like predetermined.
Well, I think that's where the difference is for me, where there are things that are non-negotiables and things that if someone does is probably going to lead you to not be there. But the ick to me is always like, you had no good reason to stop liking someone. Like you had 3 solid weeks with someone and everything's great and they're doing everything right and they check all the boxes. And the ick is, for me, that's what the ick is. When all of a sudden you wake up one day and you just
don't. But what's the ick there?
Well,
is it like a certain thing that happens?
Yeah, it's non
so you just wake up and you're like, oh, this is over.
Yeah, but there's nothing you can do about it. You don't choose that. They just go in to brush their teeth one morning, or they're eating breakfast with you, and you're like, I fucking hate this person. And you're like,
but is that the ick though, or is that something else?
To me, that's what getting the ick is that for no good reason, your brain has just switched off liking this person.
That happens all the time for me.
Well, that to me is the ick.
For Leonardo DiCaprio, it's the age 25.
Yeah. And like, you'd be like, this girl did everything right. She's, you know, for if he wants a girl in shape, she brushes her teeth, you know, she's a non-smoker, like she like knows how to swim, whatever it may be. Like the ick to me is when they check every single box, but you just don't like them. And you can't force yourself to like someone that you don't. So to me, that's what getting the ick was like after a couple of weeks, if you were dating someone, all of a sudden you were like, I'm sorry. But like, I mean, I never said that, but you're like, I just don't like this person anymore.
That's the, it's not you, it's me phase.
Yeah. And that, yes. And that's why I hate hearing like, oh, well, the ick this and gave me the ick here.
Yeah. See, I'm with you there. But my thing is, I've recently just learned the word ick. Like I never computed for me before.
Because it's like a cursed satanic thing. Like it's not something you wish on anyone. So now it's being used as being like, oh, if you chew with your mouth open, I'll get the ick. I get it. But I guess a very long story told medium length is, to me, the original ick is if they don't do anything wrong and you are originally attracted to them and your brain chemistry just shuts down. and all of a sudden you're not attracted to them anymore, and everything that they do bothers you. Innocent things that they do bother you.
Wait, was
That's
that
that's my alternative definition to what the girls are saying these days.
Yeah, I guess it's things that
girls,
bother
I mean,
me, I guess, is what they're saying are icks. But I would agree with you. An ick is bigger than just something that bothers me. But there are things that bother me that shut me off completely.
Right. And I guess that's what they're saying are icks. Now, for me, it's a state of mind. For them, but see, the way that they're using it, you're doing something wrong. The way that I always used it, the person did nothing wrong. Your brain just like switched off liking them. So I guess both are right.
What I hear what you're saying though, because it is now, well, this is a nick, this is a nick, this is a nick. I was like, you can't just
have if they clip their toenails on a plane, like that gives me the ick. That's kind of a different use.
That's icky.
Like that's you deserve to have the ick if you do that.
Yeah, agreed.
I did just take off my shoes on a plane the other day though, but I had socks on.
See, I don't know how I feel about that because I can still smell. If you have smelly feet, that pisses me off right there. I'm not up for that because if I can get any whiff, that would annoy me. Unless you're sitting alone.
No, we were up front. Me and Paige were coming back from Arizona. We were in.
So you were sitting with Paige.
I was sitting.
You were just sitting with next to some random person.
No, I wouldn't have done it. It was a long flight, 4.5 hours. And what I do is I rest. I take my feet out of my shoes and I rest my feet on top of my shoes. They act as like a little pillow for my feet.
Okay. Yeah, I've started
only because it was dark, so no one could see it.
All right. Yeah, but see, you're doing something dirty there if you're hiding.
But here's my thing. What if I just had flip-flops on, That's basically my feet being out.
Do you know so here's a question. You fly a lot.
Yeah.
So what the hell's his name? Shipnuck. He's a golf rider. He tweeted today, he was on a plane and the guy next to him was coughing, hacking up a loogie and like just snotting everywhere. He goes, it's not a COVID thing. He goes, at what point do you ask somebody to put a mask on? Like, or can you just not do that on a plane if they're just like coughing relentlessly on you?
I mean, I don't, me personally would never do that. Right. So I can't answer for everyone, but me personally, there will never, ever, ever be a situation. Like take COVID out of it.
Yeah, no, and that's what he said. He goes, "This isn't a COVID thing. I don't even want the."
I just don't think it's something that you're entitled to ask someone. I think you can ask them to cover their mouth. But you just gotta hope that it doesn't happen to you, Or like,
and that's what he's like. He goes, "What's the protocol here? Because what is the protocol for that?"
I think here's if this is how I would handle it if it got to that point. I would go up. Like I was using the bathroom and I would tell the flight attendant to go back and ask him. And she usually will, or she or he usually will be like, hey, sir, if you're not feeling well, like, do you mind putting a mask on or something like that? But it's got to come from someone with a little bit of
it can't be the guy you're sitting next to for the rest of the flight. I mean, they're gonna if they're nice about it, they're just gonna brush it off his allergies, or they're just gonna turn into a whole thing.
Yeah, I've had some horror stories both sides, but I'm glad we're back to. Well, apparently, just because someone said it's not a thing, now it's not a thing. But let's take a. I'm sorry for rambling, everyone listening.
It's kind of what we do.
You got a kick out of it. We're gonna take a quick one last commercial break, and then we're gonna answer some questions. Because why not? All right, love you guys. Let's hear a little bit more from our good friend. Jordan,
new best friend.
What's your favorite best?
It is Bad Days is my favorite, and it's about getting hangovers. I know what that's like.
Oh, I feel like you would tell me to put a mask on right now.
Well, I just wouldn't be there. I wouldn't come to your house if you were sick.
Sneezing.
Have you ever done that before? Done lemonade or not lemonade, champagne and Gatorade before?
No, what is that?
I don't know what it's called, but I've done it before. It's actually pretty tasty.
For what reason?
Just a mixed drink, changing it up. That's what he says.
I've done Tucker. Wait, what? Oh, he says it in the song.
Yeah, he goes, I take on my bad days. I think I drink cheap champagne and Gatorade.
Oh, I might do that. Honestly, I might do it this week for as a high five to Jordan. He was great. He was just a chill fucking dude. He reminds me of Scotty and
Yeah,
like
no.
Jack. Like I think I can't wait to golf with him. But so the Gatorade's electrolytes gets it in your bloodstream faster. That's like Tucker Max's death mix, which was a big thing when I was in college. Red Bull, red Gatorade, and vodka. And man, that sent you to the moon.
Ours was just F-bombs from a bar in Salem. It was cherry burnett's or fruit punch burnett's and Red Bull. And like those.
Yeah. Christopher, my brother, does grape bombs all the time.
Yeah.
And it's grape vodka and Red Bull or cherry vodka and Red Bull. Is that where he got it from? He doesn't.
Yeah, it's from Roanoke. So they're F-bombs, or they had grape bombs too. But the F-bombs were with the fucking cherry burnett's. And oh my God, it was like drinking NyQuil.
Yeah, the grape. I've had a couple grape bombs at Fager's and Ocean City.
So that's where he gets it from.
Let me run down some of the most popular topics that we heard from y'all this week. Also, go to our Instagram page, Pillows and Beer, and click on our link in our profile. Leave us some video message. We want to hear from you. Ask us any question on there. We'll play your clip, or you can ask us not to play your clip. We would just love to be face to face with our friends, best friends. And we're working on getting the phone line set up. I know we've been saying that for a while, but Nick.
But this is the best thing.
No, it's not the same. It's not the same.
They don't, like, when you call into a radio show, you know what they're talking about. We just have to like have set up like times for them to say, okay, we're going live.
That's fair. Well, one day we'll be able to give them a topic, but
yeah,
I really like my podcasting voice right now. Okay. People want your take on the Murdahl trial. I need to do a little more research. I just do, because it was so close to home. I've kind of, it seemed like a stressor for me of, how intense everything was, because I remember the news stories coming out. The crimes are pretty, the
alleged crimes are heinous.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, yeah. The end result of whatever happened is really bad. And for the same reason that I don't watch crime shows, unlike my mom and my girlfriend and every other woman I know in my life.
I was going to say probably most of our listeners.
I'm a scaredy cat, and there's a reason I, only worked for the public defender one summer. Anyway, I will do some research. I'll give you my opinion. I'm legally allowed to give, my opinion, just like any analyst on television or correspondent. It's not legal advice. Anyway, man, I'm rambling today. Thankfully, I didn't do it with our guest. That's the whole key. But yes, I won't be a wussy, and I will have an opinion on the Murdahl trial next week. Something that I have never shared before. That's a good one. Probably my tics and my OCD and my routines. I talk about it in my book, so that counts, but I've never really talked about it in public. But I didn't realize that it was a thing that a lot of people went through until watching MTV True Life. I have, compulsive behavior or something. But when I was younger, I was bullied a lot, and it manifested itself into tics and routines. Fortunately, they weren't involuntary, but they were close. So I went to doctors and got my head hooked up to probes when I was little, because no one could figure out what was wrong with me. One day I'll share some of my routines, but my bedtime routine at one point it was took me 45 minutes to go to bed, and I used to just cry because it was just so exhausting. And then you never realize it, because I think I was in high school or college when I saw the True Life. And I was and there's no way to ever know that it's a thing, because I never talked about it, because you think you're fucking crazy. But anyone listening that doesn't know what I'm talking about, basically, if you've ever seen someone hit a light switch 3 times when they leave a room, that is a routine. If you don't
compulsive disorder.
Yeah, it's OCD. And if you don't do it, you convince yourself something bad will happen. You can make it all the way to your car and just be like, what does it cost for me to do it? So you'll run back in and do it. And it's really hard to break. Unfortunately, they're usually a lot worse than that. And sometimes, can be dangerous. You have to blink a certain amount of times when you're driving, which is scary, or, shake your head, or, a lot of people huff. it's something interesting to go into, but if any of these things ring a bell, I still fight looking under my bed at night. And no, I don't think monsters are under there, but it is a ritual. And I will tell you that when you find someone that loves you for who you are, which I was pretty blessed with my past relationships. But when you find someone that you're comfortable enough with, and Paige thinks they're kind of like cute, it actually helps because your tics go away because you don't feel that pressure. But if you are with someone that tells you to stop, they fucking if you feel the pressure to not, a lot of times I'll clear my throat or make sinus sounds. And if you're worried that you aren't allowed to do them, that's all you can think about. So you're not alone out there, and it's a lot more common than you think. Do you have OCD, Nick?
With some stuff. I mean, with what you're talking about, if you watch the new show on Apple TV, Shrinking, one of the patients on that has what he's talking about with
Really?
what she has. Have you not watched the show yet? It's so good.
No,
I think you'll like it.
Okay, I will. Paige gets here this week.
Well, that'll be good.
wanna
There's
watch it
6
together.
episodes now, so you'll have some good to binge.
I mean, there's some darker ones that I used to have. I mean,
I got some dark things. We don't need to go down that rabbit hole.
No, but I'm saying routines, your mind is can become your enemy. And I'll tell you that when I stopped taking, so I had beat them in college, and then when I started taking Adderall, they came back. And when I stopped taking Adderall, I'm in control of them, fortunately.
Mine is more of is just if I see a picture that's crooked, it drives. No matter where I am, if I'm at a restaurant, I'll go across the restaurant and fix it.
Yeah,
because that's all I'll look at the rest of the night.
A lot of people have it with cleaning. There's I'll keep track of mine this week as someone that has considered themselves to have beaten them, because mine are very because I can live with them now, and they don't take away from my life. If they do take away from your life, talk to someone. But it's just the way I shut doors now, or where I have to look before bed. And I do it in a way that I can do it on my walk to bed. And I only have to leave my room it's silly stuff. But anyway, that's on the list of topics. And that's a good question, but that is something that I really don't talk about. That took a little longer than I thought. Let's do a question. And wedding season is coming up. There's a wedding in April, and I have a +1, but do not have a significant other. Should I bring someone or fly solo? Great question. Excuse me. A lot of people these days only give someone a +1 if you are dating someone. But if you were given a +1, it's totally up to you. I have taken Austen as my +1 to a good friend's wedding. The thing with taking politically correct, I want to be inclusive. I was going to say that the benefit of bringing a same-sex person, but basically the benefit of bringing someone who is the opposite sex of someone that you like. So if you like girls, bring a boy. If you like boys, bring a girl. The good thing about that is that you can still find someone at the wedding and hook up, because you're not bringing a date. You're just bringing a friend.
Bringing a wingman.
Yeah, you're bringing a wingman or a wing girl. So I think that's a cheat. And if your friends are cool with that, then do that. If not, I mean, weddings are great places to meet people. And you can be like, well, what if everyone else brings a date? It's not going to happen. I mean, I've been to a couple the last few weeks, and some really pretty people who you thought would have a date, some very available, I mean, well, I don't know how you feel about Corey, but well, I don't know Corey's relationship status. I'm just saying, people like Corey were there. I don't know if that's a good example. There were some girls there that were very eligible girls. And if people would have not brought, someone that they didn't like that much, you would have met someone. However, if you are dating, if you are seeing someone that you like, weddings can be a really fun date, especially if the person's cool. So I wouldn't be scared to be lonely. I would go, if you have someone you really want to take that's in mind, ask them. But if not, fly solo, and you're going to have a blast. If not, if you take someone that you're not dating to a wedding, who's not just a friend, it's going to ruin the wedding for you. and everyone else's time, because they're going to be like, we don't want to get to know someone that you're not dating. It's a waste of time. We're never going to see this person again. And also, you're going to be like, wow, I now have to entertain this person when I could just be living my best single life. And you're probably going to meet someone there that you wish you were with. So that's my wedding advice. Nick, was that your question?
No, it wasn't. No, I don't remember. I don't get a +1 to my cousin's wedding.
Did it make sense though?
No, yeah, I think so. Although my cousin's wedding, there literally, I asked her, she goes, "Well, your sister will be single, Nick," and that's it. And I was like, "Damn."
Yeah, I mean, like I said, you can use it as a good date if you want, but if you don't really like the person, then just go single. That'll be fun. You're gonna
I'm also doing the wedding. Like, I got ordained and everything. She's all pissed at me because I haven't written anything yet. And it's in a month. I'm like, I got time.
Oh, when is the right time to say I love you? That's a good one. Maybe we'll wait until next week.
Well, yeah, some of these I added in case we had a special host hopping on or not.
It's like going. Oh, yeah, Paige was coming on. She almost came on. When is the right time to? Yeah, I love you. All right.
I think it's when you feel like it. When you know, you know. And if she and if you actually love her and you think she loves you, if you say it, you'll know if she actually likes you or not.
Yeah, it's like, I think with Paige, I was like, can I tell you something like weird?
You're playing chicken pretty much.
Yeah, and she's like, yeah, just say it.
Well, so I read that guys actually know before
she was
girls.
Like, yeah, they do. Well, they know, but like whether you say it, and
you say it first, that's different.
I love you, dummy. Like, like that's usually the answer back is, of course, I love you, dummy. I was just waiting for you.
Thank you. Then you're in trouble.
But I'll give a more extensive answer on that next week. Well, thank you everyone for tuning in this week. I hope you had fun. I had a wonderful time. I hope you enjoyed our guest, Jordan McGraw. Download his album, Bort, B-O-R-T, on the 31st. Check out his songs. Really cool cat. Nick, thank you as always. And we will see you back here next week. Cheers, everyone.